voice. That's why he's crying. Hurry, 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 Senor Idu di saking ang Klung asking on what's gonna do. Klung kill la eskais. What's good is dunking on Dawson. Aye, aye. In Heidelberg, like in Massive and Skidegate, they had those big bands. They had called the orchestra. But that was their theme song. Sinyak Idu, they played that with those music instruments. You know, my dad played, he was a guitarist, and there were people trumpet. My grandfather was a clarinet player. My sister played trombone, and a guy named Simon Natcom was the vocalist. So, but that was their theme song, Sinyak Idu. So we have our broken heart songs too. Cowboys Eat Your Heart Out. That one love song, you know, that. I sang it for my grandmother, and she laughed. She said that song's made up of, how did she say? Some of it's old language and some of it's Skidegate. But what it's saying is, like if I sing it, I'm in love with my brother's wife, my sister-in-law. So it's called a sister-in-law song. But if my wife sings it, she's in love with my brother. So this is the brother-in-law song. And the song is saying when that person goes by, my heart, like the waters of the Nass River, goes someplace. And sometimes when that person doesn't go by, I'm afraid that my heart, like the water of that river that went someplace, won't come back. So cowboys eat your hearts out. And then the song for my clan, Strathcona. We call it our Raven Father's honoring song. We'll just sing it, and I guess we can ask any questions. It's really a song about grieving. The man who gave me the name Haw'aa, that's the name I was given as a little boy. Haw'aa, he knows when to let go. But in English it means ugly sit down. Eagle sitting there with wet feathers drying itself in the sun. So anyway, when his wife left him, when he first sing it, it's like, thank God, Greyhound, she's gone. He comes home, the house is cold, no food has been cooked. So he's really angry. He goes to bed, falls asleep, and then about 2 o'clock in the morning he wakes up and reaches over and the bed is cold. She's not coming back. He goes to sleep. He wakes up in the morning. The sun is coming up. Life has to go on. What he's singing is, in her absence my spirit hurts. Poor thing. The pain's so bad I can't carry it myself. If the high-born relatives of my wife had just walked by my house, I'd feel better. So anyway, according to the story, his wife heard him sing the song. It was the first time she'd heard him express emotions. And she went back to him. So we call it our Raven honoring our Raven Father's song. And uh, there was a group from Rupert came to Calgary on Earth Day, something like that, and they asked if they could use that song, and I said only if you sing it correctly, and he explained where it came from. But they changed it from Chatlana to Yaplana, that's the Raven side. So I told him, no, you can't do that. And so I explained why. But see, Chatlana, that's my two-headed eagle. And Masset pronounce it, it's odd. We call it Tet. Tet. Tetlana. Tet is a bird. Sometimes we use an E here. This is a tree. But the reason we use this one for our clan crest, that two-headed eagle, is in the spring, the canoes would go out from Prince Wales Island, Cape Nuzon, on a green crabapple tree village. They'd go out 2 days and there's ocean current flowing south, and they would get in it drift. And then figured that they would hear the fur seals coming north in another current. I guess the Japanese current is the one that goes south, and the Humboldt current comes north. And those fur seals were in there, so the canoes would move in there and they would take whatever seals they needed. But while they're out there, they'd see the huge flocks of these small birds coming over the horizon from the west. And they assumed they were seabirds because there's no land out there, there's nothing, just water. The story's really quite long, but it tells of some guys went fishing black cod and got caught in a storm and were driven north, and they ended up riding out the storm on this huge case, this rock sticking out of the ocean. And when the weather started letting up, they started heading home, and they saw those birds passing over, heading south. But they already knew where home was from there. But they started following him, and one of those birds came fluttering down and landed in the water, so they picked it up. And they saw that it didn't have webbed feet, so they knew it came from land, not from the ocean. So when it got home, they just followed those birds. So then our village became known as Chatlana. I asked my dad's brother, how come we call it Tet? What's that? And he kind of chuckled. He said, that's an Eskimo bird. I asked, why do you call it that? And he said, because it goes so far north to nest. Well, this bird is called, you can Google it. Pacific golden plover. It's a small bird, only about this big. In March, they begin getting ready to leave. Huge flocks of them will take off and they fly straight up until they almost disappear from sight, then they come down. And then when they're about 50 feet above the ground, they pull up and they do it again and again and again. They have a long journey ahead. There's 2 flyways. One goes along the coast of Asia and they go up into Siberia. The other ones come across the Pacific, across Fiji, Hawaii, and they make landfall around Haida country. And from there they go up into the Arctic, northern part of Alaska, where they have their young ones. Then they fly all the way back to New Zealand. It's probably one of the longest journeys. There might be one other bird that makes a longer journey, but I think it's about 8,000 miles, something like that, one way. And they're just small. And so that's what they're doing when they're going up like that and sprinkling their wings, flying up, just going ballistic, straight up. It's not going up at an angle. They go straight up and then straight down, straight up, straight down. So that's why we adopted this one. That's the head for our name of our clan. I mean our village. And our clan names come from historical places or historical events. So our clan comes from the village of Chet, which is Langara Island. Langara, the original name was Tees. That's just a rock sticking out of the ground or out of the ocean. So when our ancestors first moved from the south end of what's now Haida or Graham Island, or from the south up to what's Langara Island, there was no real vegetation there, but they knew where it was. And later it became known as Keys. This is rock jutting out of the ocean, and this is lava rock. These rocks are fused together and they're different colors. So Keeskwai is what we call Langara Island. Keeskwai, an island with these lava rocks. And so on the Alaska side, we're called Kees. Because of that island. But before it really formed into villages, it was called East Lamai. East Lamai is just sort of like a not very well organized camp. So that's what we're called. And I was told that East is not only those fused lava rocks, something very old, but it suggests a unit complete unto itself, because all the rocks are fused into one. And so we don't separate ourselves from anybody. We're all part of that whole. And the people from Massa are called Haw'aa. That's a Big Bay people. And the Skidegate people were called Tlayu. That means the Round Rock Beach Village, or the Round Rock. The rocks on the beach where their village was real brown from the glacier. But they're called Hipkit. Hip. Hip is this red chitin. They're big, sometimes they're called a Chinese slipper. And Git is a child of. They used to eat a lot of these because that's where the Sanskrit is. That's where they lived. And so that's our version of why they're called Skidegate, Hipkit, the children of. And then the master, Haidas were called Altas Haida, the bullhead eaters, because when the ocean was real low, that Dixon entrance was called bullhead spawning grounds because there are lots of big tidal pools and lots of bullheads. But it's the big ugly brown ones. They're sleek looking kind of greenish colored ones that they taste awful. So they ate those big ugly ones. So they were called the bullhead eaters. And then there's some from Mass that are called Taslana. Eskimos, you know, sand people. And then what's the other one is called the mud eaters, Kuitos. But there's different stories as to why they're called that. What do you say they're called?
I said we start cleaning up.
Huh?
We start cleaning up.
No, one of them too is the story was that it was in jest. They said there were so many people there that they're even eating up the moss. Eating up the mud, that's what there's so many, they're probably going to eat up the mud too. Because where Haw'aa is, there was lots of people there. And, some say that there's a plant, I don't know what it's called, it looks like rice, but it grows in a big clump cluster, and you find it in muddy areas. And then there was also something they got from those ponds in the muskeg. It's real muddy, and I don't know what it's called in Haida, but anyway, it was supposedly they got food from there too. So anyway, each people has a different name, and then the hummingbird, duck duck. There's the woodpecker, duck duck, yeah. See, there's a symbiotic relationship between the woodpecker and the hummingbird and the spider. The story tells of how the woodpecker got its feathers. We don't have time to tell it now, but anyway, woodpecker asked the ancient one, "Why did you give me this gift?" And they said, "Because you have a responsibility." So what's that? Well, when you go out there, there's not going to be any flowers or anything. It's early spring. You're going to peck holes in the trees to get the bugs out of it. And then the hummingbirds are going to come in before there's blossoms. And every time you peck a hole, that's where the sap is going to come out of the trees. And that's where the hummingbird is going to feed until the blossoms get here. And then the hummingbird would get the spider web for its nest. So when you look at all those different stories, how everything again is so intertwined that the greatest trouble is going to overcome us, and that's where we have to go back to. Because this climate change isn't going away. We can slow it down, but give us enough time to organize. And later I'll talk about some of the prophecies. One is about when the eagle flies the highest in the night. Another one talks about the airplane, about the ocean powering itself, powered ships. So there's a whole lot of those things. So if you have any questions, Todd will answer them. I told him the truth. I said, if you have any questions, Todd will answer them. So this is the first time I've deliberately told some of this. I started when I was 3 years old, and my last teacher died when I was 67.
Very nice stories.
Hello.
Thank you.